Why I think the Oppressor Mark 1 is better than the Mark 2. Now, I believe there are 5 reasons as to why the Mark 1 is better. And there might even be more than that. These are just the ones I'm listing today. First off, price. Tell me why the Oppressor Mark 2 is $8 million and the Mark 1's only 2.7 mil. That says something. Now, I do get it. You obviously do gotta nuke the prices when something's so OP. But $8 million OP? No thanks. I personally believe the Mark 1 just has more benefits for $2.7 million compared to 8 mil. Like, for example, you can glide for like a long time. Like, I know people like compare that, like that's one of the biggest comparisons. But in my opinion, the Mark 1 can still glide like a half mile, and even then, just go off a high space. Or if you're in the city, you could still fly. You could just jump off buildings. Like, you know what I'm talking about, where you glide through the buildings and you regain your boost. So basically, you could still fly. It's just, I mean, I'd rather do that than have to spend another like $6 million. So while I was editing this, I forgot to add one thing. The Mark 1 and 2 are still kind of expensive to upgrade. But the Mark 1's way cheaper because of the lower price. Because in order to upgrade, in case you didn't know, in order to upgrade Mark 1 or Mark 2, you need an MOC or a terabyte. So it makes it even more expensive to get the Mark 2. So that's our first reason. Now we get on to our second reason. Number 2. I'm just gonna call this funability, I guess. Like how fun the vehicle is. Now, I do just want to say something before we get in this reason. I do know the Mark II is mostly meant for missions, not really for stuff like that, and griefing. And the Mark 1's more meant for just fun, but still. Let's just do a quick comparison. The Mark 1 is a gliding vehicle with a booster on it. And the Mark II is just basically a plane with missiles on it. Which one sounds more fun to you? And the thing I love about the Mark 1 that you can't do with the Mark 2 is you can do challenges. Like with the Mark 1 you can fly forever, so it doesn't really matter. But with the Mark 1 on the other hand, you can't do that. But it's really fun to do challenges like see how long I can fly, stuff like that, or see how long I can jump off buildings. It's fun because you can go through the city like gliding through buildings, seeing how long you can fly, like getting booster without touching the ground. It's so fun. While the fun on the Mark II is just griefing and doing missions. Which, I mean, griefing can be fun, but come on, if someone did nothing to you, why grief them? Like, unless someone killed you 50 times before, don't grief them, please. Now we get on to thing number 3. Speed. Like, I'll admit, in air, the Oppressor Mark II is definitely faster than the Mark 1, considering the Mark 1's only gliding. However, on the ground, it's a totally different story. And you may be thinking, if you did know this, the Mark 1 only takes 3 seconds to refill and you need to be on the ground, while the Mark 2 takes only 4 seconds. 1 second's not that big of a difference. But there's 2 things I think that disprove this. First off, in combat, this can be everything if you're trying to get away. 1 second, someone can just like pull up with the AK and just end you right there. And in order to even refill the boost on the Mark 2, you need to get close to the ground, or you need to legit come to a complete stop and then it'll refill in 2 seconds. But while in the Mark 1, all you need to do is touch the ground and within 3 seconds, it'll be done. But that doesn't mean you gotta stop moving, you can just keep driving. So in my opinion, that makes the Mark 1 way faster and way more reliable in like scary situations where you need to get out fast. Like for example, let's say you're doing like a stash house, for example. And obviously, as most of you probably know, they are the spammiest people alive and they have like the best angles ever. And they manage to kill you. And you know how they send those cars after you? You can run away with ease on the Mark 1 because it goes super fast. Now the Mark 2, they might have a chance to get a few shots on you. That like couple of seconds can mean everything in like the battleground. Now we get to number 4. Now this reason has kind of similar traits to the last reason. However, I think this is one of the more important ones. Let's say you're driving the Mark 1. Someone griefs you. Or let's say you get the Mark 1. Instantly someone blows you up or you accidentally crash. You only have to wait like a minute 30 seconds. But on the Mark 2, because everybody was just killing the Mark IIs, or destroying them, I guess, and calling for them every 3 seconds. So then they had to add a 5-minute timer. So if a griefer destroys your Mark II, you can't use it for 5 minutes. And let's say you're in the middle of a gunfight and an enemy destroys your Oppressor. What are you gonna do? For the Oppressor Mark I, you can just wait it out for 1:30. You could just stay alive. It's not that hard to stay alive for 1:30. But add another 3.5 minutes to that, that might get a little difficult. So in my personal opinion, reliability in like situations where you're in a shootout or something, the Oppressor Mark I wins every day of the week in my books. Now we get on to our last reason, number 5. The upgrades. Now for the Mark II, basically all there is missiles, machine gun, like explosive machine gun, and colors. That's it. With the Mark I, you have all those. And you can also get special camos, speed acceleration things, better boosts. Now I believe you can get the better boost in flight things on the Mark II, but still, the camos, more customization, makes the Mark I feel more like yours than the Mark II ever will, in my opinion. I just feel like you could do so much more with the Mark I and make it feel like you actually created the vehicle and you can actually do whatever you want with it. And the possibilities are endless. Well, with the Mark II, it's kind of like just red, boosters, and missiles. That's it. Or green if you're into green. Anyway, that's going to be about it for today's video. Let me know if you liked it. I'm trying to make these videos longer, trying to make it better. Now, for some of my regular viewers, let me know if the audio is better. I tried to work on the audio, like breathing less in the mic, cutting a little bit more, like making sure my voice is more clear, making sure there's not really any like wind and stuff, or like air going into the mic, you know what I mean? So let me know how that went. Now I do want you guys to let me know in the comments what you think about features for fuels. I personally think they can be okay if the GTA community wasn't what it is now or what it was. I still don't think we're ready for it yet. Maybe in GTA 6. Probably not, though. I don't really want to see him in GTA 6. However, I don't mind having him in GTA 5. I just don't like him that much. But then again, the Oppressor Mark I is still one of my favorite vehicles to this day. Anyway, let me know what you think. What do you think? Because, I mean, do you like the Mark II more? Do you like the Mark I more? Are you a grinder? Are you just messing around in GTA? Let me know. Anyway, hope you all have a great day. Please help me get to 250 subscribers. And that's going to be about it. Love you guys. Bye.